Now for our featured story of the day. Jaw-dropping corruption in the United States. Trump's billionaire crypto czar is heavily invested in a fund whose top 5 holdings are in the U.S. government strategic reserve. So all of the cryptos which were just announced by Trump yesterday, which include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano, he has involved in this. So let's just break it down. I'll read you the tweets and go from there, and then we'll dive a little deeper into this. Mere hours before Trump announced it, someone bought $200 million in Ethereum and Bitcoin on 50x leverage. As you can see here in the screenshot. Right now, Bitwise Invest is celebrating because the main crypto coins going into the Crypto Strategic Reserve Fund just so happen to match Bitwise's top 5 crypto holdings. Can all this be a big coincidence? Honestly, you know I don't believe in these coincidences. And then you can see here, so the question begins, how much input did David Sachs have on which tokens are going to be in the strategic reserve? And then, of course, David Sachs came out saying he doesn't own any Bitcoin or Ethereum, that he sold all his tokens before, he took the position as being the crypto czar. But if he has basically exposure to these stocks, he's still benefiting, and it can still be considered, insider trading. Now, Samson Mao posted something, and I haven't even read it yet, so we're going to take the time to dive deep into this. I greatly respect Samson. He says, I've been thinking about the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Crypto Reserve, and there's 2 possible outcomes. Number 1, the reserve is Bitcoin, and none of the mentioned altcoins actually make it in. Or number 2, we are going to accelerate into degeneracy unlike anything before. Long time thread. So let's break down this thread by Samson Mao. And of course, he is referring to the big announcement from Trump yesterday regarding XRP, Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin, and Ethereum all being a part of the strategic crypto reserve for the United States of America. Now diving deeper into his thread. First, we should address the big question. Why is Samson saying that none of the alts Trump listed will make it in? Didn't the president just say XRP, Solana, Cardano, and ETH will be included? Well, can Trump actually just dictate what things are going into a reserve? I don't think so. There will need to be a proposal from the working group, and then Congress will need to pass legislation. So then, why did Trump say he would direct the working group to move forward on the crypto strategic reserve that specifically includes those altcoins? Well, why do politicians say anything? No offense to the politicians we talk to regularly. I'm pretty sure Trump knows he can't actually ensure those things are included, but if you read the words carefully, he can, of course, direct the work group to do something. But it doesn't mean it'll happen. There are theories out there that some traders that benefited from the post haven't opened long positions in advance, and those trades could be connected to Trump. I think so personally, and I'll dive deeper into that later. But a similar possibility is that it is just to appease the lobbyists that are pushing for their coins to be included in the reserve. Charles Hoskinson, Brad Garlinghouse, Vitalik, Joseph Lubin, maybe secure some donations. There definitely was some leak that follows some traders to front run the news, but that could be a leak from whoever manages his social account or the platform itself. The post could also be intended to give some exit liquidity to Ripple or Cardano lobbyists or donors. It makes sense to pump those coins now because once a real report comes out with a list of the coins or criteria, it's too late. This would go in line with the reasons for why Trump pushed the Trump meme coin before inauguration. He couldn't do it post-inauguration, but who knows? The possibilities are endless. The one thing we know for sure is if you don't post something to pump very specific coins on a low liquidity Sunday, for no reason. One reason why the U.S. is a major financial center is because there is a rule of law and guidelines for how things are done. Things generally make sense. That's why people from around the world feel safe investing into Bitcoin ETFs and securities in the U.S. If Trump can somehow just unilaterally pick random shit coins to put into a national reserve, well, that is just very bad for the U.S. Things stop making sense, and it is now a free-for-all. That sets us down path number 2, accelerating into degeneracy. The impact is far greater than just crypto, but could potentially undermine the U.S. financial system, even more so than the fiscal mismanagement of the past few decades, all right? So now let's look at path number 1. Why will the crypto reserve not have XRP, Solana, Cardano, and ETH? It goes back to this. The U.S. is a major financial center because there is rule of law and guidelines for how things are done. That applies to the strategic Bitcoin reserve or the strategic crypto reserves. One does not simply buy a bunch of shit coins for a country. And the president working group tasked to get the crypto reserve, let's just call it that from now on, since Trump is calling it that, will need to define many things, including criteria for what can be included. There must be guidelines for selection because we are not on yet the path number 2, and things should kind of make sense. I would expect some list of requirements for what can be included in a reserve, but much like we have the Howey test to define what qualifies as a security. And just a reminder that Ethereum does not even pass the Howey test, or does it? It does pass the Howey test, he says. Okay. So as a presidential working group writing up the report and defining criteria for cryptos to be included, I believe they will coalesce on something like this. And here's what he suggests. Requirements for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Reserves assets must be based on proof of work to ensure which would exclude all those coins right off the rip. To assure fundamental integrity and assurance of immutability. Proof of stake assets cannot be included because foreign actors can gain control simply by owning the asset. Reserve assets must be dominant in their hashing function to ensure resistance to attacks. Reserve assets must not be merged, mined, or dependent upon the security of another asset, so no forks. Reserve assets cannot be premier or allocation to insiders. Thank you. Should be no insider trading. Reserve assets must be been existing or operational for at least 10 years. And again, a lot of those alts do not qualify. Reserve assets must not be securities. And if there exists reasonable doubts, further investigations must be undertaken. Reserve assets must be able to be secured in cold storage utilizing multi-sig systems that do not involve blind signing. The blockchain of the reserve asset must be fully intact and verifiable for the Genesis block. And there are probably more requirements depending upon how seriously the U.S. wants to be taken. And he goes on and on. I'm not going to continue to read this, but you guys let me know your thoughts. And shout out Samson Mound. Thank you for all the support on the stream. We appreciate you. I put here Bitcoin because F the banks. Pompliano wrote other countries outside of the U.S. states are focused on acquiring Bitcoin. They don't see any of the altcoins having national importance, and thank God for that. And as the Illuminati bot wrote here, if you're not for Bitcoin, you either don't understand it or don't mean well. There is no third option. Preach. I couldn't agree more. But you guys, let me know your thoughts regarding the strategic crypto reserve for the United States. Let me know how you think it all fare in the end. Do you think it'll only be Bitcoin and all the others will not get accepted by the Congress or Senate in the next step? You guys let me know your honest thoughts and I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the stream. I'm a huge Bitcoiner. However, my next top 5 holdings are the same. Solana, XRP, HBAR, Cardano, and Litecoin. Says Trevor Fay. Thank you for sharing, brother. I'm a regular listener, but I rarely talk. Well, I appreciate you being here, DWM. I know the majority of you guys listen to the stream on a daily basis, but you don't interact in the chat. It's all good. Shout out to all the CNA fam holding down the Bitcoin Cafe. I'm a regular. We need more regulars. Let's go. Orange pilling the masses. We're glad you're here. And again, welcome everyone to the stream.